You're standing on a corner, again, waiting for a friend. 20 minutes go by. 25. He texts, "On my way," the same words he sent 15 minutes ago. And as you stand there, looking at your phone, you notice something strange about what you're feeling. You're not just annoyed. You're not just inconvenienced. There's something else underneath it, something quieter and older, a feeling you'd probably never name out loud. The feeling that somehow, in this moment, he's the king and you're the servant. He didn't say that. He doesn't think that. He's a good guy, and he's going to apologize the second he shows up. But something in your body, something much older than your friendship, is reading the situation differently. Today, I want to talk about why people who are always late are doing something that has almost nothing to do with time. And once you see what it actually is, you'll never read a late text the same way again. This isn't about clocks. This is about power. And it goes back a lot further than you think. Let's start with a puzzle, because this is the part that doesn't make sense to most people. The vast majority of chronically late people are not bad people. They're not arrogant. They're not consciously thinking they're more important than you. Most of them are warm, generous, deeply apologetic when they walk in 20 minutes late, sometimes embarrassingly so. They feel awful about it. They promise it won't happen again. And then it happens again. The next week. And the week after that. Their whole life. So if it's not arrogance and it's not laziness, what is it? Why does a kind person who would give you the shirt off their back somehow not be able to give you the 8 minutes you needed in order to not stand on a corner alone? The honest answer is that their body is doing something their head is not on board with. Something old, something hardwired, something that goes back to before we were human at all. To find it, we have to leave the coffee shop and go look at animals, specifically at who eats first. Watch a wolf pack at a fresh kill. Everyone is hungry. Everyone wants in. But there is an order, and the order is not random. The alpha eats first. Everyone else, no matter how starving, waits. Watch a troop of chimpanzees gathered around a water hole. The dominant female walks up when she's ready. The others move. They don't move because anyone told them to. They move because their bodies move. Watch a lion pride after a hunt. The dominant male approaches when he chooses to approach. Sometimes the carcass cools while everyone else stays back. He does not run to dinner. Dinner waits. If you start watching for this pattern, you see it everywhere in the social mammal world. The animal at the top of the hierarchy does not adjust its schedule to the group. The group adjusts to it. Time, in nature, is a status signal. The high-status individual moves at its own pace. The low-status ones synchronize themselves around that pace. Nobody teaches this. Nobody enforces it with rules. Their nervous systems just know. Rank flows in the direction of who waits for whom. And here is the part that's going to make you uncomfortable. Your nervous system knows this too. You inherited it. Every primate brain on Earth came with a built-in reader for this signal. It's running quietly in the background every time you wait for someone, every time someone waits for you, every time you walk into a meeting and notice who's already there and who hasn't arrived yet. You're not just reading the clock. You're reading a hierarchy. Now look at how humans have used this for thousands of years, completely on purpose. Kings made people wait, always. Show up at the palace for an audience, and you might wait for 3 hours, then 3 days, then a week. That wasn't bad scheduling. That was the message. My time is a different kind of time than yours. Nobles arrived late to balls. The host of a major event in some European courts could not even begin the evening until the highest-ranking guest arrived, which meant the entire room sat in formal stillness until they walked in, sometimes deliberately late. The Pope keeps people waiting. CEOs keep people waiting. Doctors keep you waiting in a small, cold room, flipping through a magazine from 2017. The president keeps the press waiting. Movie stars keep entire film crews of 200 people waiting. And nobody really protests because everyone, on some animal level, understands what the wait is saying. This person's time costs more than yours. That's why it costs you to be near them. And the strange thing is, none of us were ever taught this directly. You didn't sit in a classroom while someone explained the social meaning of arriving late. You just knew. Because your body comes with the manual already installed. So now flip it. If your nervous system is wired to read someone else's lateness as status, then it's also wired to feel the opposite. When you're the one rushing, the one synchronizing, the one apologizing for being 2 minutes late while the other person hasn't even noticed, your body registers something specific. It registers a small loss of standing. Not a thought, a feeling, a drop. And here's what I think a lot of chronically late people are quietly, unconsciously protecting themselves from. Most chronically late people, if you sat them down and asked them honestly, would tell you they don't think they're more important than the people they keep waiting. And they're telling the truth. Their head doesn't believe that. But their nervous system is older than their head. And somewhere in that older part, there is a quiet, automatic resistance to being the one who hurries. Because to that ancient part of the brain, hurrying to meet someone else's schedule is a small act of submission. Letting yourself drift, finishing one more thing, sending one more email before you leave, taking your time, that's a small act of standing your ground. A tiny daily ritual of no, my time is also mine. Watch what chronically late people are usually doing in the minutes when they should already be leaving. They're rarely on the couch doing nothing. They're finishing a task. They're answering a message. They're cleaning a thing. They're squeezing one more small accomplishment in. Their body is saying, I will not move until this is done on my terms. Even if the cost is being 12 minutes late to coffee with a friend they love. This is also why telling a chronically late person that they're disrespectful almost never fixes the behavior. It's not landing on the part of them that's actually causing it. You're talking to the manners. The pattern is happening in the dignity. There's a deeper layer here too. A lot of people who are habitually late grew up in situations where their time wasn't respected, where they were expected to drop everything for someone else's schedule. Parent, partner, employer, sibling. The body learned the only way to feel like a real person is to make the world wait a little. Eventually, it becomes automatic. It isn't strategy, it's an old protection. If you're watching this and recognizing yourself, drop a comment telling me what you're usually doing in the 10 minutes you're supposedly running late. I'm collecting these. I think the answers are going to surprise people. Now, I need to be careful here, because this is the part where it would be easy to turn this video into a free pass. Like, here's your scientific excuse. Go forth and be late. You're just a primate. No. Understanding why a behavior happens is not the same as saying it's fine. The ancient pattern explains, it does not absolve. And here's the hard truth that makes the whole thing tragic. The world we live in is not a tribe of 150 people. The friend you're keeping waiting is not reading your lateness as a status display in some animal hierarchy. They're not running the old software anymore, at least not the part of them that thinks. The part of them that thinks is just thinking, I matter less to him than whatever else he was doing. That's the message that lands. Not, this person is high status, fascinating. Just, I am not important enough for him to be on time for. And the painful irony is that this is the exact opposite of what the ancient pattern was trying to protect. Your nervous system was trying to defend your sense of standing, your dignity, your time as yours. But in the modern social world, the cost of that defense is that the people closest to you slowly start to feel disposable. They smile and say it's fine. They stop expecting you. They stop inviting you to the things that matter, because they can't count on you for the things that don't. The dignity you were protecting bleeds out anyway, just from a different cut. So here's where I want to land this. If you saw yourself in this video, and you've spent years feeling like a bad person who can't fix one simple thing, I want you to know two things at once. The first is that this isn't a character flaw. There is an old, real, ancient pattern moving through you, and it has logic to it, and you didn't invent it on purpose. The second is that it's still on you. The pattern is the cause, the behavior is yours. And here's the strange, freeing thing once you understand the ancient layer. Pulling yourself out of chronic lateness stops being about discipline or time management apps or alarms. It becomes about flipping what status actually means to you. Because in a tribe of 150, making people wait was a sign of importance. But in the world you actually live in, importance looks different. It looks like a person whose word lands, a person who shows up, a person whose presence at 6 means they're sitting there at 6, calmly, without making the small show of having had to rush. There is a real, quiet, modern kind of power in that, and almost nobody talks about it because we still read lateness as glamorous. It isn't anymore. The high-status move now is reliability. The person whose time is most valuable is no longer the one who makes others wait. It's the one who has so much going on that they've learned to be ruthlessly honest about what they can and can't do, and shows up exactly when they said. If you've been keeping people waiting your whole life, and somewhere underneath it you've been quietly defending your worth, I want you to try the opposite for 1 month. Treat being on time as the dignified move. Watch what happens to how people look at you. And more importantly, watch what happens to how you feel about yourself. Subscribe if you want more videos that quietly explain why you are the way you are. And until next time, take care of the people who are waiting for you. The waiting is louder than you think.